whatever was on your agenda for March for this month has probably been pushed aside because of the situation in Ukraine. We may have had plans to travel, we may have had plans to be focusing on projects, and yet the whole world now is focusing on Ukraine. The situation there is demanding our attention, and it's demanding our attention as a global family. We are focused on this all over the world. There's no nation in the world, there's no region of the world not focused on the unfolding tragedy in Ukraine. And so we're going to look today at how we meet this as individuals. How do you, as a human being, act and think and feel responsibly about Ukraine? And yet, how do you also retain your sense of inner peace? Now, I'm going to invite you to do something before we begin this stress reduction routine that I'll share with you, to do something that might seem a little odd, and that is to actually express your fears. And we all have fears of what will happen. I have friends in Ukraine. I haven't been able to reach them. I'm very concerned about them. I have done presentations to personal growth groups in Ukraine, and I can't reach them now. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know whether they're still alive. And here I am, thousands of miles away. I can't do a lot to help them materially. So that's my own personal grief. Maybe some of you have friends there. Maybe you're just responding to the natural human empathetic sense of seeing people hurt and killed, and the whole dynamic of aggression and victimhood, people doing things that harm other people. How can you not be affected by sights and sounds like that? So I'm going to invite you just now to focus for a few moments on feeling those feelings. It doesn't help to suppress them. It doesn't help to dissociate from them. It doesn't help to try and pretend you aren't there. Any part of the self, any part of the psyche, any part of your emotions you try and suppress or repress winds up festering there, and it's in the bottom of your subconscious mind, it's in your unconscious, and it's just going to surface in some way. So in this moment, take a moment just to feel what's going on in your body. Feel the fear. And know also that what we'll do in this brief exercise has the ability to really, really shift you. But you feel the fear first, and then you shift. There's a lot of research showing that you have to feel it first, and then you move through it. So feel what's going on in your body. It's fine to post it, to write it down. Any fearful thoughts you have, any feelings in your physical body, just go ahead and write those down, make a note of them. And allow yourself to feel the fear. Know you're in a safe environment. And let yourself feel those feelings, because what we'll do in the next few minutes is going to shift them. There are over 100 clinical trials of the technique we'll use, EFT or emotional freedom techniques, and they show that it rapidly reduces depression, anxiety, phobias, pain, and other forms of stress. In one study I did of a 15-minute routine using emotional freedom techniques, pain went down by about 40%, anxiety and depression went down by over 41%. And again, you can read all the research on EFT, and you'll see several studies showing that it works really, really fast. So we'll do that EFT routine, and you'll have a chance to then see how these feelings you have in your body, how these fears you have in your mind can shift very, very quickly. EFT uses acupressure points. So it's like acupuncture, but rather than acupuncture needles, we use pressure on the points. Pressure on acupuncture points has been used therapeutically in Qigong, in yoga, in other traditions for over 2,000 years. It's simply tapping or rubbing on these acupuncture meridian points on your body. And again, there are over 100 clinical trials showing this really works, and it's very effective to quickly shift the body's energy flows, shift the body's electromagnetic flows, shift fear structures in the brain, like the hippocampus and the amygdala. Activation of the emotional brain goes way down. In my books, you can read about how it shifts gene expression. The genes, for example, that code for cortisol, your main stress hormone, those drop as you tap or rub these acupuncture meridian points. So it has concrete effects in your body, and you'll feel it. But first of all, as I say, you have to feel it. So I invite you now just to feel that feeling in your body. Write those fears down. And now I want you to score them on a scale from 0 to 10, with 10 being the most possible distress and 0 being the least possible distress. And again, write down your number 0 through 10. Again, 10 is the most distress. Like sometimes when I watch the images of the war in Ukraine, I feel such intense pressure in my heart. I feel myself, tears are rising, and I feel this intense pressure in my heart. And maybe it feels not in your heart, maybe it feels in your gut, maybe it feels tension across your shoulders, maybe it's tension in the back of your neck. Wherever it is, tune into that feeling, and then also write down your number. So is that feeling in your stomach or your neck or your heart, is it a 5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10? We use the scale in EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques Tapping. We use that scale to measure our results. So right now you have your first number and you've written down that number. It's important to write down that number. Now we're going to use this routine, and we're simply going to release the stress using acupressure, and we'll focus on balancing the energy in our bodies. And I want you to start by stimulating this point over here on the side of your hand. It's on the small intestine meridian, and all you do is you tap with 3 or 4 fingers on the side of your hand, right under the joint that anchors your little finger. Tap there. Feel the feeling in your body. And notice your breathing. You're still breathing. You're alive. If you'd like to say some words out loud or silently, you can say, even though I feel this physical sensation, I'm still breathing. Take a breath, feel yourself breathing. Now there are 2 important meridians. One runs along the back of your body all the way along the center line, the other up the middle of your chest and your face. And those are the governing and central meridians. We'll start by tapping gently on the governing meridian on the top of your head, which again regulates energy flows in your body, changes the brain, changes genes, changes hormones like cortisol. And feel this feeling in your body. All the physical sensations of my body's response to the situation in Ukraine. Tap over here where your eyebrow meets the bridge of your nose. That's on the bladder meridian. And notice you're breathing. You're alive. And also feel the feeling in your body. Tap on the side of your eye. That's the gallbladder meridian. Feel your breath. And feel your body. You may want to give that feeling a name. Could be anger, could be fear, could be guilt, could be horror, could be stress, that physical feeling. And now tap under your eye, that's the stomach meridian. Notice your breath. And notice the emotion. Now tap under both eyes at the same time. Stomach meridian, both sides. Feel the emotion in your body. Stress, fear, anger, outrage, guilt, blame. Feel the emotion and notice your breathing, and keep tapping under the pupil of your eye. Really feel that feeling as you breathe, as you tap. Tap under your nose. That's the end point of the governing meridian. Feel the feeling, feel your breath. Then tap under your lower lip. That's the end point of your central meridian, or conception vessel in acupuncture. Feel the physical feeling. Notice your breathing. Now tap where your collarbone meets your breastbone on both sides. That's your kidney meridian end point. Feel the breath. Feel the emotions strongly. And you're alive, and you're breathing. And mentally, or even out loud if you'd like to, say a little affirmation. Even though I have these emotions, even though I have these physical feelings, I'm breathing. I'm alive. Now tap under your arms on your side, about 10 centimeters below your armpits. Notice your breath. Notice the emotion. And then tap back on the side of your hand again, right below the joint that anchors your little finger. Keep tapping, and I'm just going to read out loud some of the fears people have posted over here as we've been tapping together. Fear for the people who suffer. It makes me cry when I look at the destroyed buildings. Fear of collapsing. Fear that human beings will never, ever evolve. Fear that there will always be war. Guilt about my powerlessness. Fear for the future of my children. Fear of nuclear weapons being used, both for me, for our communities, and for the whole earth, which would be destroyed by that. Fear that I'll collapse psychologically. I'm too sensitive to deal with all of this. I can't bear to watch these frightening images. Fear that if I do this exercise and tap and meditate and release, I'll become insensitive and I won't feel sorrow for the Ukrainian people anymore. That I will no longer be touched if I let all this go. So again, keep tapping. Just feel those fears. Now, we've brought up the fears, and I told you initially it was safe to feel the fears in this context of healing. And we'll tap again through each of the points, top of the head, breathing. We'll do both sides this time. We'll tap on the eyebrow points, feeling physical sensations, noticing your breathing, tapping on the side of your eyes, gallbladder meridian, noticing your breathing, noticing your body, tapping under your eyes, tapping under your nose and the governing meridian, tapping on your chin and the central meridian, tapping on the place your collarbone meets your breastbone, both sides, kidney meridian. Take a deep breath there, feeling your feelings. Tapping under your arms, spleen meridian. And then, once again, on the side of your hand. And to end with, we'll do a little exercise that generates delta waves in your brain. And delta and theta waves are the two brain waves you generate during sleep, naturally. And this little exercise slows your brain down and drops it into the slower rhythms of theta and delta. So tap on the back of your hand in the groove between the bones that anchor your little finger and your ring finger. Close your eyes and open them. And to generate delta, we look down hard to the left. Look down hard to the right. Look up hard to the left. Look up hard to the right. Look all the way down without moving your head. Look all the way down at the lowest possible point. And then raise your eyes up and look at the highest possible point above you. And again, there's a lot of science about why these points work this way, but we'll just do the stress relief exercise and you can read the science later if you'd like. Okay, stop tapping, take a deep breath. Now tune back into your body. How do you feel? Focus on the same area of your body you felt the most tension before. I mean, it was my heart. When I was thinking about the images of destroyed people, destroyed buildings, dead people, I was a high number. I was around an 8 earlier. Now I'm down to about a 2. And the chances are your numbers have gone way down. We find people's numbers drop a lot. So write down your new number now. Write down your new number and then feel free to post your pre and post numbers below. Just write 8 to a 2. That would sort of be for me. Or 10 to a 1. Or 9 to a 3. Or 5 to a 4. Whatever it might be. Write down your numbers so you can share those with other people. And that way we all realize that these techniques really work. Okay, Christine, 8 to a 3. Esther, 9 to a 5. Bertome, 7 to a 3. Sylvie, 9 to a 4. Veronique, 9 to a 2. Katya, 5 to a 2. And that's fairly typical of what goes on in these EFT sessions. People's numbers drop a lot. Now I'm going to have you work with some thoughts and affirmations while we tap. So let's start with the affirmation while we tap on this point. And let's just say the obvious. This is a tragedy. There are people being killed, and there are people doing the killing. There are people ordering others to do the killing. There are people trying to save people who are suffering. This is a tragedy. And this tragedy involves the whole world. And this tragedy involves me. People in the Ukraine are suffering. People in Russia are suffering. People all over the world are suffering. I am suffering. And I am still breathing. The people who are being attacked are suffering. The people who are attacking them are suffering. And I'm still breathing. I am alive. I feel compassion for all the suffering. And I know that if I lose my inner peace, I don't help the situation. I don't help the situation if I lose my inner peace. Every breath reminds me of my inner peace. And I can maintain inner peace despite the suffering in the world. That doesn't mean I'm indifferent to the suffering. It doesn't mean I don't care. It means I care even more because I care about me. And I care about me maintaining my inner peace despite the suffering in the world. I can act intelligently when it comes to the tragedy in Ukraine if I'm calm and I'm centered. And I cannot act intelligently if my mind, heart, and body are disturbed. I breathe now and affirm inner peace. Despite the suffering, despite the tragedy. Top of your head, inner peace. Breathing. Tragedy. Eyebrow points. Inner peace. I'm alive. Tragedy. Side of the eyes. My breath. My heart. My life. Under the eyes, the world. Suffering people. Suffering me. Under your nose. Tragedy. Suffering. Me. Under your lower lip. Tragedy. Suffering. People. Feel your breath, collarbone points. Tragedy and suffering. Breath. Inner peace. And then tap under your arms. And then on the side of your hand one last time. And then again, those eye movements that generate theta and delta waves in your brain. So look hard down to the left without moving your head. Look hard down to the right. Look hard up to the left. Look hard up to the right. And then let your eyes go back to neutral, stop tapping, and feel your breath. So this is how we make the greatest contribution to the world. We do choose to maintain our inner peace. We choose not to abandon ourselves. We choose not to move away from that state of inner peace and self-nurturing. And we do whatever we can for people in the Ukraine. We do things practically. We donate money. We donate food and clothing and help in whatever way we can. We give our moral support, and we speak and write about what's happening there. We feel the pain of those people. We also feel the pain of the perpetrators. If you're a soldier being forced to kill other people, you can only do that if you're in a huge amount of pain. So the perpetrators are often in as much pain as the victims. And we just send and hold all of those people with compassion, whether they're the perpetrators, whether they're the victims, they're suffering. Only suffering people hurt and kill other people. And so as we free ourselves of suffering, as we return to inner peace, we then become wise and able to make a real difference in the world. So I want you to do this and anchor yourself in this sense of you as a vibrant, well, peaceful human being. Your losing your inner peace is not going to help people in Ukraine. Your keeping your inner peace helps both you and helps everyone in the world around you, because you can make smart and wise choices. So I'm so glad you've done this. I recommend you do this regularly. I also recommend that, besides tapping, that you limit your consumption of news. Don't get into the news for hours every day. Give yourself a window. I know for me, my window is about 30 to 60 minutes every day. I do get involved. I do watch and listen. Then I go and do other things. I do what I can. I stay informed, but I don't allow it to grab all of my attention. So I invite you to use healthy techniques, meditate. You'll find there are many free eco-meditation tracks on my channels you can listen to free of charge. Listen to those, download those to your smartphone, use them in the morning to frame your day in a positive way. If you get stressed, use tapping to reduce your stress. And by doing this, you can make an intelligent contribution to the world and to Ukraine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawson. That was great. I can share that my level of stress and fear and sadness went really up, up, up. And the more we were talking about that, and really tears coming, and then with the tapping, it went down. And then we began to talk about it again, and it went up. And then it's in the middle right now, because I don't really allow myself to stop and to think about what I'm feeling about that. But it's so terrible. It's so terrible.
And actually, Florence, I did that deliberately. I deliberately took you down and then up again to show you that it's possible to do that. You can bring yourself down, bring your emotions down, feel stable, and then go and re-experience those intense emotions. But now you know you have a tool to bring them down again. So I did that actually by choice.
Yeah, so people are saying thank you, gratitude. You're the inner peace. It's such an honor and a joy to have you and to listen to you. So thank you, Dawson, for this gift. We'll meet 2 times in April with our next rendezvous, which is, I don't remember exactly when, the second Monday of April. And we'll meet at our Contomoy Summit around trauma, attachment, and resilience, which will be in April 18 to 24th. And you'll be with us on the 23rd. So we're really, really thrilled to spend this time with you and to share the world with so many different resources and techniques and talk about, because this is a collective trauma we're living and we have to go through it, and we have to bring healing in the world and healing in our hearts. And so I think this summit will be, it's a way of bringing that to the world too.
Yeah, and you're right. We are living through collective trauma, and we do have the tools to
Please.
deal with it. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening wherever you are in the world, for everybody. And see you soon. Our next rendezvous with Dawson for new meditations and tapping, and to our Quantum Ways Summit in April 18. Thanks to all of you, and thanks for being there. Bye-bye.